Hello, everyone. So, this is April, and let me write my screen off. I am working on a blog post titled The October Storm, and I thought I would try to make a corresponding video to go along with it. I'm going to set you down right here. Try to make a corresponding video to go along with it to try and explain a little bit about what the post is at heart. And it says in the post, because I tried to keep it short, that's more of another story, and I thought I would give you just a little bit of background about what happened. So the post is about 10 years ago. If you're a native to the western New York area, you're familiar with the October storm that hit and the devastation that took place. That October 2016, I was actually not in Buffalo. I'm native to Buffalo, but I wasn't here. I was in Detroit, and I was undergoing a rapid detox. And if you read the post, you'll understand, or if you're reading the post, you understand what a rapid detox is and what it entails. For 6 years, I had a addiction to pain pills and opiates that I was trying to overcome. And this was the third time that I was going for a rapid detox and had hit rock bottom. So I actually left before the storm hit, and I went and had the rapid detox, and as you'll read, it did not go well, and I ended up in Michigan in the hospital for a few weeks while I properly detoxed off of opiates. And after I returned home to Buffalo, literally the night I got home, the evening I got home, I was back out in the bars with my friends, and although I wasn't taking pills or drinking, I was actually on prescription meds, and I was the designated driver for the evening. And my friends drank heavily that evening, and I dropped one friend off, and who was wasted, dropped them off. And after I dropped them off on the way home, I was playing with my iPod and swerved and was pulled over immediately by the police. And the police officer was convinced that I was intoxicated, and I explained to him and pleaded with him that it was because of what I had just went through. And he decided that if a friend came to get me, he would let me go. He let me go, and before I could even get to my house, as the story goes, my mom was calling, yelling that I was out drinking, and I knew right then and there that I needed to make a change in my life and do something bold and get out of Buffalo and get away from the people that I had been running with and make some changes to my life. So I booked a 6:30 a.m. flight to Tampa, Florida. And I went to Tampa. I found a Christian doctor. And from October, the end of October, till January the 16th, I was in Florida. And the last week that I was there, I was ready to go home, and the weather forecast changed, and it predicted a beautiful weekend of sunshine. Happened to be Martin Luther King weekend. And I left the condo where I was staying and headed to the nearest beach, which happened to be St. Pete Beach. So when I arrived at St. Pete Beach, I checked into the hotel that I was staying in, and the next morning I went down to the pool, and it was super hot outside. And while I was down by the pool, I went to go get some water from the tiki bar. And while I was waiting in line, I met a young man who had on a backwards baseball hat, which happened to be the Florida Gators hat. And um, being me, the kind of person that just talks to anybody, I said to him, "You must be pretty excited that your team won." And I literally thought that he was just some young college kid. And he turned around to talk to me, and I realized that he wasn't a young kid, that he was the same age as me. And we began to talk, and we hit it off, and it turned out that he was there for his sister's wedding. And he asked me to crash his sister's wedding, and I politely denied his asking. And as I began to walk away, he asked me if I would be his date to his sister's wedding. And the rest is kind of history. We ended up falling in love and getting married 6 months later in the exact same spot that we met, and have 3 beautiful children, and have had a life filled with ups and downs, but mostly, great things. But this post is not really about that storm or that story. That's the backstory, though. It's about what you do in the storm. Because so often we go through storms in our lives, and we have weaknesses, and we have failures, and we have disappointments, and we have things that we have to take and make right. And 2 Corinthians says that uh, His grace is sufficient. His loving kindness, His mercy, His favor is sufficient to fulfill us in all weaknesses, wherever we might stumble, find hardship, or not have the human strength to bear bear the infirmity. The Lord is there to walk us through it. And this post is about what you do in the storm, and how to take your weaknesses and turn them into victories, and glorify God with them, and honor Him, and share your story with others, so that others come to know of His goodness, His grace, and His mercy, His love, and to use your life as an example to show others that God is able to do all things. Because by all accounts, that October when I left Buffalo to go to Florida, I had no intentions of meeting my husband, meeting the father of my children. I thought I was getting my life in order for me, and my life fell into pieces perfectly, like a puzzle, a perfectly fit puzzle, by the grace of God. And it's not until we relinquish everything and say to God, "God, my life is yours. Do what you need to do with it," that the ability for His transformation power goes into effect. So I just want to encourage you tonight. If you're seeing this video, you're probably watching the post. A lot of you may be holding on for things, and believing for things, and have dreams in your heart that seem unaccomplished, or too big, or seem unlikely for you because of something that is holding you back. I want you to know that I have sat in the lowest of spots. I've been addicted to, basically been a junkie. I've been, divorced. I've been in an abusive marriage. I've had great loss, and I've had great, overwhelming blessing in my life. Blessing after blessing after blessing after blessing, mercy after mercy after mercy after mercy. And it is all because when the storms come, when the trials come, when the weaknesses come, I choose to not hide. I choose to say, "God, take this story, take this trial, take this test, and do what you are oh so good at doing with these kinds of situations, and bring glory to you with it. And over again in our lives, in my life, and then since I met Michael in the 10 years now almost that we've been married, God has just been so gracious and good to us. So I want to encourage you tonight. It may seem hopeless. It may seem like what it is that you're believing for, what it is that you might need to be relinquished from, what it is that you need to get out of is never going to happen. What it is that you need to change is never going to change. But God is able. He is able to do all things. He is able to restore. He is able to make new. He is able to uphold. He is able to break through, heal, and multiply whatever it is that you may need, and make you the head, not the tail, above only and not beneath. And that's what the word says. And the word is true. His promises are true, and they're just meant to be taken and ran with. And that's basically what I've done with my life. And, you know, I would be nothing if it wasn't for the grace of God. And I would be nothing if it wasn't for the fact that I am not ashamed of the things that I've faced and the things that I've overcome because of his loving kindness and his mercy. So I want to encourage you today, again, tonight, encourage you to look back, where God has been so good to you and where you've overcome other things, and recognize that whatever it is that you might be facing, God's there. He's ready. He's on the scene. He's willing and able. And if you just stand in gratitude and thankfulness for what he's done in the past, and glorify him for what he's already done, he will show up and show out in your life. He certainly will. And he will continue to, as you just continue to bless him and magnify him. So as always, know you're loved. I'm April Ward, and I hope that you enjoyed this post. Share it, like it, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please subscribe to the blog. It's growing and growing and growing, and I'm ever thankful for your support and your love. And like I said, as always, know you're loved. And Ephesians 3:16-20 says that God has in store for you greater than you could ever hope, dream, or imagine. And wants to fill you with his fullness of all. And I just encourage you to grab a hold of all that God has for you and run with it. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.